Hello again, whiskey friends. Thanks for joining us, everybody, for another Whiskey Wednesday. And today is a very special Whiskey Wednesday because we have a blending blind challenge from WiseGuy Stu. I have had the pleasure of going through this challenge before. He set one up for me back in April and May. I did it out on my back porch. It was a blast. And now Darrell and Kelsey get in on the fun as well. We will explain everything about this particular challenge once we kick things off and say hi to everybody. So thank you for joining us today, whiskey friends. Let's kick off the show. All right. Well, we got 32 people in here so far. Number keeps going up. Thank you for joining, everybody. We'll say hi to you just a minute here. Personally, I'm coming off of jury duty this week, so it has been a very interesting week already. Just in time for Whiskey Wednesday and a few delicious pours that I'm sure Stu has in store for us here. And I know somebody else who's ready for a few pours. Let's bring in Kelsey.
What's up, everybody? Cheers, Doug H. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy those barrel-proof pours. Don't drink all of them in one night. Well, I guess your tolerance is pretty built up. I guess you probably could drink them all in one night.
Oh my gosh. Doug H got like a metric
ton of samples. 4 Stag
samples.
Junior pours and an ECBP Pirate bottle pour. So,
oh man. I think the box that I sent him was like 8 pours because he just kept winning.
Yep.
Well, let's bring in somebody else here who is chilling in this nice, quiet household. He's been ramping up here. He feels pretty good about tonight. Let's bring in Darrell.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, no noise in here, which is crazy. Crazy.
Makes him think that something's wrong. That's what makes him think. He's like, what's going on? Thanks, Doug.
Everybody sleep or just not in his house.
Quiet. It's too quiet.
A little different. But feels good. But yeah, happy to be here another Wednesday with everybody, man. It's gonna be fun. Blends and trying to pick out stuff and figure this out and figure that out. It's gonna be a good time.
Oh yeah. Well, Kelsey, why don't you kick off at the top of the list here and start saying hi to some people?
Let's see who is here. I think it was Top Dog was first. Then our master blender himself, WiseGuy Stu, and Sugar Kitty, and Katie, my favorite Turk of all. Doug H is in the house, obviously. John Cloud. Ellen's fam is in the house. Let's see.
Oh yeah, Ellen's fam is looking for my eggnog recipe. I'll have to plot something for that.
It is. If you like gloopity yogurt custard, you might like his.
Hey, it was better last year than that first year.
What else is in the house? Cheers. John Cloud is in the house. Another one that seems to win a lot as well. Shauna Marie D is in the house. Cheers to you. Hope you're doing well on this Whiskey Wednesday. JG, cheers, buddy, to you. Stacy, cheers to you. 4-Leaf Whiskey. Ben Drammond is in the house. Uncorked is in the house. Tim Corney, cheers, man. Good to see you in here. Let's see who else. Ryan from Copper Wolf is in here. There's Mr. Giant himself, Ethan Turk. Good to see you, buddy. I got to see some pictures of Ethan back when he was in the military. Holy cow. He looked like he was 12 years old. It was crazy. OH, cheers. Good to see you in here. Let's see. We're getting pretty caught up. Mark, I think you should have your samples that I sent you as well. Hopefully they made it safe. And that's pretty much caught up right there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I saw a few more in there.
Oh, GT Mustang. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Andy Road is in there as well.
I saw Bill. Cheers, Bill. Got John in here too. I think that was the main ones I saw up top there. All right.
Mr. Franchi himself, the worst bourbon channel ever. Go check it out. Bob Glass. Cheers.
Yeah.
He jumped in here.
Yeah, Bob. Bob got his special gift too. He was all excited. All right.
Oh, here's Moose. Cheers to you, Moose. Good to see you in here, Alex.
All right.
Well, before we get into today's game, we got 42 people in here now. Let me tell you about the super chats. I did get lucky yesterday, and I grabbed a little book. This is this year's little book. So the 2023 little book, it's called In Retrospect. I know Darrell is particularly a big fan of this bottle.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Best since number 3. And it was a close blind. When I blinded him, and 3 is fantastic. So that says a lot for that bottle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So if you haven't had a chance to get this year, hey, this could be your shot.
Cheers, Dana. Glad to see you in here. Glad to see that you actually made it home, that you're not telling us that you're not making it home yet in our super chat.
So as you can see from Darrell, he's got the blind flight right in front of him here. So WiseGuy Stu has put together 4 blends for us. And what he wants us to do is to sip on these things, talk about them, and to try to break down what we think are the components of the blend. Now, he gave us a key, so we have 2 envelopes, one of them with the game, one of them with the solution. We obviously haven't opened up the solution one yet.
Yeah.
But the one with the game looks like this. So on the left, you can see we got blend A, B, C, and D, and that's what we have poured out in front of us. And he tells us that blend A has 3 components, blend B has 3 components, blend C is 2 components, and blend D is 2 components. So we have a total of 10 components. And if it plays out like it did last time, he also only used the components once in any of the 4 blends. So the 10 components then are what's on the right in the word bank. So we have the Polar Dark Rum, the Old Soul Tin Type, Dickel 15 Year, K. Luke Barrel Proof Bourbon, batch number 5. So now we've got a blend of blends. The Catcher's Rye, this one finished in vermouth. Quite interested to find that one. Nashville 8-year MGP Kelvin Barrel. Kelsey, we're going to rely on you for that one.
127 proof too. Huh? That's a high proof on that.
Oh yeah, that's a high proof on that one. Another Catcher's Rye. This one finished in the French Baroque cask, if I'm saying that right. And he sent me a sample of that before, and I think he sent you a sample of that too.
As well.
I
may still actually have that.
You liked it. I know I was iffy on it, but you liked it.
Yeah, it was different, but I enjoyed it. It was interesting.
Then we got a 4-square rum, the Touchstone, and then the Journeyman Corsets and Whips, which is a wheat whiskey. And then we've got the Maker's 46 cask strength, which is a wheated bourbon. So we've got rums, we've got wheat whiskeys, we've got wheated bourbons, we have the K. Luke that has a lot of other stuff in it, some MGP, some Finnish Ryes, some Dickel. This is going to get interesting.
To say the least. Uncorked is in for 2 entries. Let's see. Moose is in.
Oh,
right.
great opportunity to finally get a little butt.
This is, I will say this. I'm not a huge bean person, but I actually like this bottle. I'm typically not a big bean person, but I actually like this one a lot. I agree with Darrell. I think 3 was probably the best release that they did out of this, but this is really close.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Close
Jason
second.
was raving about it too.
Yeah, Jason Norseman likes it a lot. Hendo in the house. Cheers, Hendo. I love all the family pics lately, by the way.
Oh yeah.
This guy married way above his head and made some beautiful babies. So cheers to you, buddy.
Anybody else come in?
Christopher David came in. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining, Chris.
Cheers, buddy.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into sample A, guys.
All right.
I'm ready.
Now, do you guys want to do this as a team or talk it through, but do it individually as well? Like,
No, I think we can do it as a team. I think we're going to, it'll move things along way faster. We know how long it takes Darrell to decide something.
Hey.
I was watching the TV the other night, Darrell, and there was a guy who made the face that you make whenever I say something to you playing poker. And I was like, oh my God, that was the Darrell face. He gets this side view, like, that's his eyes.
Like, what?
Oh, Hendo's in it to win it. Cheers, buddy. Thanks, man.
Thank you, buddy. Man.
Darrell, I smell rum right away. Do you smell rum right away?
I smell rum right away.
You do? Huh. I would have.
Yeah, I get a hit of it.
Yeah. The only reason I know that is because I own this bottle that he put in here.
Is it the Polar?
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't had that. Like I know what Foursquare smells like.
Yeah, I've got one of those Polars as well.
Mark's in it for a few chances. There you go. Thanks, Mark. Mark, let me know that you got your samples, please, too. Let me know that they made it to you.
And everyone, as you're watching us sip this blend of blinds of blends.
Oh, shit.
I challenge you to make your own blend while you're watching us. So that's my challenge to all 48, 50 people in here.
Damn,
make a blend and let us know what you're doing.
Oh, man. If it's that rum, though, dude, that's 86 proof. What the heck is bringing it up this much? Oh, but that's really
I think it's
good.
the Nashville is bringing it up that much, to be honest with you.
That's the highest proof in here, right? The 127.
Or it could be one of the I haven't tasted the Catcher's Rye, but that the rye could come across spicy as well, and it not be proof.
I do get a slight.
I get more rye spice than I do proof. Like it's spicy, but
it could be that. It's just I'm looking at 86 proof, and I'm like, oh, this is drinking well above that. But I do get a slight rum. I don't really get it on the palate much, but
on the nose,
back end, on the finish, I have like that berry note. But going back to the nose now, I can smell that.
I'm just going to make some notations. We don't have to commit to anything, but as we're bringing it up, I'll keep jotting it down.
Yeah. So Polar, I think you guys are right on that. There's something that has to be at least 115 plus mixed in to bring it up this much, I think.
You do you, Mark. Just put like a slight drop of something else in there, and be like, it's a blend.
Exactly. Have fun with it. Bob, there's nothing that you can blend with that to make it taste good. I'm sorry, buddy. The only thing you can do with that is just pour it down the drain.
No. Take the opposite of what I just said and pour 99% of something else and then 1% of the rest.
It'll screw that 90. That 1% is going to screw the 99 up. Stu, I like this one a lot, though. It's a roller coaster on the palate.
Man,
I really like this. Like I said, I think we're good on the Polar, but I'm just curious what the hell's blended like, because I don't really get much of that on the palate for me, but the flavors kind of remind me of I'm going back to Nashville, but I don't really get those on the rise. So the bourbons that we have give you like that berry note, kind of like how Houdini had. And I get a lot of berry vibes on the front and mid palate of this. But I never had a Kelvin rye from Nashville that gave me that berry note. So I don't know. I've never had that bottle either, but I think you might be spot on, Kelsey, with that being in there. That's the only thing I can think that's really going to give it that note.
There's a softness on the finish as well that makes me wonder about maybe the wheated bourbon, maybe the makers.
The makers? I haven't drank enough makers to know their profile.
Just the way it feels, mid palate and the finish. There's this softness that's there that reminds me of wheated bourbon. It doesn't give me the craftiness that I usually get from Journeyman, because I've called out Journeyman on a blend before from
Gotcha.
I still think it's one of the catcher's rye, because here's why. Number one, I think it's a rye spice that's coming across, but number two, it's drying on the finish, which makes me think it has to have something that's finished. And the sherry cask on the rum is not that tannic, so it's not drying like that would be. So
yeah, and it can't be the vermouth unless it's a very small percentage, because I'm not picking up. That's a weird taste, and I don't get that.
Let's look for that vermouth and other ones. But okay, so far we narrowed it down, and it could be 6 of the 10. That's good. We're
Pilar, Nashville. If anything, maybe the catcher's French Barrique, but I don't think it's Journeyman. Do you think maybe makers? I don't know. Let's put that down. Let's see if we pick up anything on, the second one. Maybe get rid of. Yeah. Get rid of a couple guesses. See if we could pick one distinct note that will give us a barrel like you guys did with the Pilar.
Oh, the catcher's rye are 100% rye, so that makes sense why it would be spicy. A lot of rye spice to it. Calling out my boy Cheech. Sorry, I didn't get to say hi to you the other night. Cheers to you, buddy. You and your beautiful wife Jen. Tell her I said hello.
Oh, this is.
You on B?
Yeah, this is rye forward for me.
It would be $5 get you in for one. Sorry, bud.
What's tipping you off on B that rye? Just so that I'm learning from you.
It's like a weird funky note that I get on some ryes. Like a not tartness, but almost like a tangy. It's dark and tangy.
Okay, I get the tangy part on the nose. That I'm just trying to figure out what you're calling rye. So
yeah, I haven't tasted, but just off the nose, I was thinking rye.
Now I do get some floral notes on it that would remind me of a rye on the nose.
It's like MG,
but it's almost experimenty floral.
Nashville
that I'm getting.
See, I'm getting like I don't see. It's hard for me to know the notes. Like, dude, I'm pretty good at recalling like certain aspects of a bottle when I had it to help me with maybe guessing what they are. But when I'm trying to translate that to other people, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to basically explain it. But I think this comes across having 95.5 MGP rye in it to me before even tasting it. But let's see. But finished too. It has a weird funkiness. I think it's finished too.
All right.
I get that same. I don't know how. Every time I've ever had a Journeyman's, maybe Stu can help me out here in what I'm smelling and tasting. But every time that I have it, it's the way that I describe it is like clean. It's very synthesized, I guess is the word maybe I'm looking like. It's just, it comes across real, because it's grain to glass, it comes across real different so than any other distillery out there. It's very distinct to their stuff. I don't know if Stu, if you can get what I'm getting off of this or not, but I mean, it's not always the spearminty, but it's very clean, like a cleaning product, but spearmint a little bit, I guess. I'm not really doing a good job of describing it.
That was weird.
I agree with you on the journeyman component, mostly because maybe what I'm getting is a little bit of that craftier pot still funk, but then the rye is there. So I think I'm at least going to put down in the notes for now that we're talking about the ryes and we're talking about journeyman.
And it's also on the finish too, like with the way that journeyman's finished. There's something else, like I don't know if it's something that it's finished with, that's with journeyman's, but it's very distinct on the barrel influence that comes across on the finish on this one.
Oh, shoot. Not sure what it's doing on that one. If anyone in chat knows what it might be doing to him, please advise. But it looks like he's not able to get it above the 199 on the slider.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to talk about. It's a small barrel note. Yes, that's what I'm trying to describe. Oh, look who's here. Our favorite blending friend. Hey, Nancy.
Cheers, Nancy.
Put up the page so she can see what the components are. So, Nancy, what we're doing is, let me take your thing down for just a minute. Yeah, what we're doing is each of these blends has a certain amount of components, and all of the components are on the right-hand side that we're doing. So we're trying to guess the components in each one of these blends based on those 10 bottles. So that's what we're doing.
Stu's a good blender. So you can look at some of the components that he's been using too. And these are really good blends. We've gotten through A and B so far.
But it's awesome to have you in here. Yeah, it's very difficult. You're right. Absolutely. It's very difficult for us. We don't have the nose you have, but it's interesting too how things morph when they're touched with other things in a blend. You're absolutely right. That's one of the things that we were just talking about. Man, that's hard.
All right. Ooh.
William Hall's in for 4. Cheers to you.
All right, buddy. Yeah, and in case you missed it on the bottom, we are doing a super chat giveaway tonight. It will be for the 2023 Little Book, founded at Party Source this week. So let's spread the love. I know someone's going to appreciate it.
I really like that this year's. Like I said, I'm not typically a Beam fan, but that one is actually really good.
All right. B is interesting.
I think B is more complex than A too. Would you say that? Like,
yes and no.
Muted. Sorry, I get a craftiness to it, but I do think it comes across slightly more complex. But it's definitely a craft note that I pick up at the end, like mid to right on along the end of the finish.
Yeah,
which it could be what you guys were saying, that journeyman's that fits for me because I did get a little
smaller barrels give it a real distinct barrel note for me. Proof wise, do you think this one's a little bit lower too on proof?
I think this is a little lower than the first one.
Okay.
The first one drank like 120, but I don't know if it can really be that high because everything else.
I think it's the rye that's in the first one that's coming across that way.
Like, because if the Pilar is in there, it's definitely not 120. There's no way it'll be like one with 3 components, even at the highest 120, 120, 86, 240, 320. We're looking at 107, right? 2 of the highest ones. So it has to have a crazy rye in it. That's
cheers to John Cloud. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, thanks, John.
John Cloud has been very lucky.
Does B come across finished to you guys? You think there's a finished product in there?
Well, if we think one of the ryes is in there, then it has a finished component to it.
It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it could be, but one to me tastes more finished than B, or A finishes. And it's just the drying aspect along with the the funkiness of that blend.
So you got 1, 2.
I think if I were to lean, it would be the French one versus the vermouth. But
I agree with you there.
Yeah, I would lean that way because vermouth.
all
This
right.
one has 3 components, right?
Yep.
So catchers, potentially. Catchers, rye, French.
Man.
Pilar, Nashville, maybe.
Man, C's way different.
See, but what's weird is I get like the MGP rye note, but Nashville's the only one that fits that. But
It's a bourbon though.
Well, it's got 3 components,
Oh,
so
that's
we've
a
only
bourbon.
really focused on 2.
oh,
Yeah.
then that even fits. That fits more for A than I was thinking. It was a rye. The Nashville.
No, it's the Nashville is an 8-year
Yeah,
MGP, but
Oh shit. Okay.
that's the 8-year Kelvin barrel that Kelsey was raving about.
which
Got it.
I actually taste more of in C than I did A.
Do you? Shit. All right. I haven't.
Yeah, taste
Okay.
C and see if you
Let's
get
get
what
into
I'm
C.
talking about.
Let me.
Even on the nose, I get it on the nose.
Oh gosh, you get that. Oh man, you get that on the nose right away.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about? There's a sweet, round, dark tone on the nose, excuse me, and then same thing on the palate, which makes me think of the Nashville 8-year.
I think the Dickel might be in this one too, honestly, because of the depth of the oak that's on this one.
See, I'm not getting.
You may be right because it comes
Nashville.
across real. Taste it, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
There's a bit of
The
orange on the nose too.
Mid palate to finish, you get more of that, the citrus and the mineraliness of the Dickel, even though it's not real strong.
No, it's not real strong. I'm going to write down Dickel on that one.
I think Nashville, and I personally think Nashville on that one.
Yeah, and it will be hard for the Nashville versus the Old Soul, the 7-year.
Yeah, I've never tasted that one, so
From what I remember from the Old Soul, the main distinction I would say is a Kelvin barrel versus probably that independent stave type barrel profile.
yeah.
Oh my god. Go back to nose A. Tell me if you don't get freaking pancakes and syrup, dude.
Oh, it was already going that way, but 100% now.
Oh my
Nancy,
gosh.
if you're still in here, I would love to hear your thoughts on the oat profile differences from Kelvin to independent stave that you've tasted, and what you get whenever you taste those two difference. Because for me, it's a distinct different flavor from a Kelvin barrel to a independent stave barrel.
So this only has
All
2
right.
components.
Ryan's in. Cheers, Ryan.
Cheers, Copper Wolf. Thanks, buddy. Man, that's a really nice
So you're
nose,
thinking
though.
Kelvin
I
and
really
Dickel?
like the nose on that one.
I mean, Nashville and Dickel, you think is the blend? Because it's only 2 components.
It's only 2. Nothing else can give it that rounded, deep oak flavor.
So where?
No, wait. It's the touchstone. Smell that again and think touch. Smell that again and think the touchstone.
Hold on. Yeah.
So Nancy was saying the small barrel note has a lot of caramel and vanillas up front, but they fall off very quickly. The extraction to oxidation ratio in small barrels is distinctly uneven. Okay. I mean, A is so sweet on the nose compared to these, but I really like the way that C rounds out the nose. Like there's nothing that's pointy or just one note. It's a little bit more well-rounded, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Man,
Stu's in for a couple. Cheers, man.
I think that is
throw the
touchstone.
book at him.
What is the other component? We're still thinking MGP and
We're still thinking probably
Foursquare?
MGP.
I do
MGP
pick.
touchstone
Let me go to
blend?
D. Let me make sure I don't pick up the Foursquare on that. We can kind of rule it out, but I think that's right on C.
I was just trying to think when I was talking out loud about that, what would have that level of age to it? And then I was like, oh man, the touchstone's what, 14 year?
14 or 15. I can't read it from here, but yeah.
Absolutely, JG.
Put that in your notebook.
So we're
We
missing.
learn stuff about each other every
the
week.
Foursquare, but I get what you're stepping in there.
K-Luke, Vermouth, we're missing. Old Soul maybe is still in there.
I don't
Makers.
remember liking Batch 5 on K-Luke as much as I did 4, but I don't remember it either. Oh, here we go. Here's my question. Big difference between ISC and Kelvin. Kelvin barrels often have a lot of sweet smoke. I don't even know how to say that next word, Nancy. And their charring profile isn't very even. ISC offers more overall complexity and softer tannins. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Nancy.
There's a lot of similarities between these. Like all of them are so berry forward for me. Noses are wildly different, but I don't get vermouth. So whatever you blended with that damn Catcher's Rye finished in vermouth is kind of hiding that.
Have you had D yet?
D. No. I just said D.
That's what you just sipped it?
Yeah.
My instincts were vermouth off the nose on D.
I was going to say, if wants to have it, it has to be this one because it does come across slightly funky, but I don't taste like vermouth. It's just, it does have like an off finish, but I wouldn't have thought that was vermouth.
What makes you think vermouth? What notes are you getting, Jeff, that makes you think vermouth?
Isn't vermouth a note?
I mean, it can be, but I don't describe what that smell is for you because I don't drink enough stuff with vermouth in it to know what that tastes like.
Shoot. A bitter, a vinegar.
Does it smell more like a soured fruit?
A soured fruit. Okay. I could go that route.
Okay, because that's what I'm getting off of the nose. It's funky, but it's almost like a soured fruit type of note, along with the bitter. I haven't tasted it yet.
Damn, where?
I mean, it's
a makers be like.
It's like a fortified wine, so it gets that vinegar aspect almost, like a wine that is a little past its prime. Maybe would be a way to describe it.
Yeah. I think that's definitely the vermouth, and I think it's also another one of those finished. It could be either the finished rye or it could be the makers in this one. There's something that I get that's similar to a French oak type of finish on that. That's interesting, Nancy, because I love the oakiness or I guess maybe the smokiness of the Kelvin barrels. They tend for me to be more of a darker note that I prefer as well. But I'm not, like I said, I haven't drank as much and tasted as much as you have in the ISC either. So I can see why you would say that, though. It is a very distinct notes that I get on a Kelvin barrel. Perfect example of that one, Nancy, is the backbone pick from Justin's House of Bourbon. That's an 8-year. It's got a really super oaky, dark, like extremely dark, like drinks like 2 to 3 years older than it really is. So, but it balances out this, and in that particular one, it balances the sweetness of that MGP. So I think that's why I like it as much.
In chat, somebody help me out. How would you describe the flavor of vermouth? See if I can. I don't know if I'm articulating it properly. Hey, there we go.
There we go.
Cheers, buddy.
Thanks for jumping in there, Alan's fam.
I know that there's two different kinds of vermouth as well, right? There's a sweet vermouth and then there's a more dry vermouth, right?
The more dry. Yeah. And I don't know which one it would be on this one. I'd imagine they would do it with the sweet vermouth versus the dry vermouth, but I don't know. The only other experience I have with a vermouth finished whiskey was the Yippee-Ki-Yay from High West.
Yeah.
But it had the unfortunate pleasure of me sipping on the Yippee-Ki-Yay at the same time that I had some bad chicken wings and got food poisoning. And my body never quite trusted that bottle of Yippee-Ki-Yay ever again, even though it had nothing to do with the Yippee-Ki-Yay. But that night, with all of my experiences and enjoying the Yippee-Ki-Yay multiple times, I never quite could come back to that bottle.
Cheech is saying botanicals, almost like botanicals, like off of a gin type of note. Cheech, is that what you're saying? I will say this one is my least favorite.
I don't want to put A down.
Mine as well. I will say that. Oh, we have to make sure to rank them for Stu as we go through that too. So think about that.
I think my number one's A.
I really like C. I like A a lot, but A is like overkill on the sweetness for me. Like, and I like sweet stuff, but
yeah, I'm all for the fruity, sweet berry vibes.
C comes across as a very balanced blend. I like that one.
I think the nose for A too for me. Yeah, I take no. Well, I'll go find out for sure, but I take nose and palate. C. Yeah, C, I think definitely has the touchstone.
And for the distilleries that I blend for in hot areas like Still Austin, they use 63 gallons. Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's interesting.
I didn't know that, Nancy. That's interesting. Thanks for sharing that, because I definitely did not know they did 63-gallon barrels that you guys were using. Nancy, is that what you put the distillate directly into, or is that a blending barrel that you're putting the distillate into? That would be my next question. Is the distillate going straight into the 50 or the 63-gallon barrels, or are you blending it and then putting it into the barrels to age a little bit longer?
Interesting way, though, to combat the Texas heat, though. Just get bigger.
Increase the surface area a little bit more.
Yep.
I would imagine they probably don't fill it up as much either to give it more room. I don't know.
This is tough, man. Shit.
This is real tough. We got 55 people in here. If you just joined, we are going through a blind set up by WiseGuy Stu. So we got 4 samples in front of us, and we got to guess what is in it. Now, at this point, we have gone through all 4, and we got to narrow in on the components on the right-hand side to play this game. So there are multiple rums, a few bourbons, a few finish ryes, a wheat whiskey, a wheated bourbon. This is tough. This is real tough.
Yeah, A smells like Eggo waffles and syrup.
Dude, it smells so good.
I'm not kidding you guys. It smells like straight up Eggo waffles and syrup.
I love how it's specifically Eggo waffles. Like, I went to the freezer aisle, I pulled out some Eggos,
Dude,
I put them in the toaster.
I'm telling you why, because that's the only waffles that I ate growing up. Like, we weren't rich by any means, but we weren't like super poor. But man, breakfast was Eggo waffles and like butter, and then Aunt Jemima syrup. That was breakfast.
You know what?
You know, my sister got me a waffle maker for Christmas one year. That ended very poorly one morning. I definitely messed something up about that thing.
Okay, so yes, it's still awesome. We use both 53 and 63-gallon barrels. The 63 gallons are used for the longer term stock. Otherwise, it can get the Texas funk that won't be capable of long-term maturation. Okay, that's kind of what I thought, but I wanted to confirm that with you. Awesome tidbit for us. Thank you, Nancy, so much.
Dude, I think C is touchstone in Maker's 46.
You think C is?
I'm like 99% sure touchstone is in C, and that's a higher
right?
proof. That's like 120 something, but it doesn't drink like that because I know how that drinks, and something has to be proofing it down.
All right.
I don't think it's the Dickel.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that, Burrell, for sure.
Because I would put it right at
Yeah.
about 115 proof.
Makers 46, and then the Foursquare touchstone.
Yeah, the Foursquare has to be in there, dude. Like, that's all I smell on the nose.
Yeah, it just keeps taking over.
Yeah, it's good. C is good.
That's probably my favorite out of all of them.
I go A, C, B, D for mine. There's got to be a lot of MGP or a decent amount in A, which is making me go that route.
I got to go back to A here. I've just been sniffing it because I've been trying to find these Eggo waffles in the maple syrup.
Yeah, but I think that may be the blend for C, which gives us 2. D, we thought catches rye, vermouth, but what else?
Man, that is tough. Now, some of our initial instincts on A, before it opened up, was that the Polar was in A.
Yeah, that's definitely in it to me. That's the Polar rum, 100%.
You drink? I haven't drank that to know, but I get MGP. I get MGP on the palate for days.
Well, the honey's there, which could be making that maple syrup.
I don't get a darkness of a Kelvin barrel on A.
Damn.
So I would go, if we're going to go MGP on A, I would go with the 10 type 7 year.
The old school.
The 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. My first thought was the Nashville, because when we first went through it, I got a lot of the berryness. I'm losing a little bit of it now, but it still tastes like MGP to me.
Well, I get the graham cracker note that we always get on that one.
Yeah.
But to me, it's, I don't know, it's brighter than most Kelvin barrels would be too, which makes me lean towards 10 type, even though I've never had the 10 type. A 7 year 10 type, could be dark too, but I just haven't drank it enough to be able to know.
No, it doesn't have that darkness. It doesn't have that darkness, Kelsey, when it comes to that 10 type. It's more of that profile that we're used to with the 5 and 6 year Independence Day of MGPs. It's more along those lines.
What are we thinking for a third on that?
It keeps finishing soft to me, which brings me back to the makers. I keep going back to the makers on A.
On A.
So I don't know. I don't get French oak on A at all.
It's a good point. It is 46 cast strength. It's not just makers.
Yeah. I think the makers is in C with the touchstone. I think B is the Corsips whips and from Journeyman.
With the catcher's rye, maybe the French.
Yeah, with the other catcher's rye and vermouth, because it is a little drying, or not vermouth, but the French. Thank you.
Barrique, maybe.
On one, rather than Darrell, you might get to help me with this one, but I'm trying to think of what is in K. Luke Batch 5. I think that might be that third component of A.
So from what I thought they were all like MGP / like Four Roses blends.
And that might fit what I'm talking about.
For A
being the other side of it.
So the third, so Pilar, Old Soul, and K. Luke.
And K. Luke maybe.
I want to say I'll go back last today. I want to save some of it because it's really, really good.
I'm going to save some of it.
We've got 15 minutes left on this. I know we can go over a little bit because Jason's not going, but guys, get your super chats in for the super chat giveaway on the bottle of Little Book.
So great point, Kelsey. So everybody, I don't believe Jason's going live tonight. Do we know that for a fact, guys?
For a fact, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Jason's not going live after this tonight, so we'll have air for things to breathe a little bit. We'll cut off the super chats at 9 to then do that giveaway. We should be done with this by then in the next 15 minutes. We'll then wrap up, have a chance to go through the blind again, knowing what it is. And then we are going to do a private stream for Patreon after that at 9:30. So if you are in the Patreon group, be sure to continue the party and join us for the encore, as long as Cheech doesn't give us a cease and desist for me calling it the encore.
I do think also the thing about B, going back to it, is not as aggressive as it was the first time through on the palate. Remember, we were saying it was really rye spice forward on the palate, like punchy. It's kind of
the journeyman.
Yeah, it's definitely the journeyman on B. The other one that I would say is the one that's finished in French, the Catcher's Rye on that. So we would just need one. The only other one that I could think of would be maybe, are you getting any type of Dickel notes at all on this one?
Which one was the one that you guys thought, Dickel? Was it B initially?
It was B initially.
Bravo?
Yeah. No, Charlie.
Charlie, okay. Yeah.
Because we thought it was Dickel and the four square, but I definitely think it's more leaning towards Makers on C on Charlie. There's Mr. Todd Ritter. I hope you had a fun time at the turkey event.
So if we go with everybody's hints about vermouth and to focus on botanicals, I can find that in B more than I can any other sample.
No, I get that in D, Jeff, like Delta.
You think D? You still think D on that?
Yeah. Like that is way more gin botanically in D.
D was my initial instincts on it.
Yeah. I think you were right on with that on D.
So what else were you on after the journeyman on B?
B is in Bravo. I was on journeyman, and then I also think that the only other thing that makes sense to me with it, since it's 3 blend, 3, is the Catcher's Rye finished in French. I don't even know how you say that.
Barrique wanted it to.
Yeah, and then also the Dickel. I think those are the 3, in my opinion, for B.
So D leaves us with 2.
Yeah.
So we think Pilar, Nashville, Old Soul for A, Journeyman, Catchers, maybe Dickel, Touchstone Makers, and it'll be Catchers, Ryan, K. Luke for D. Right, I don't have any doubles here, which I don't know if I got K. Luke.
Now, one learning that I have doing this game before back in May, I tried to be a completist, and I only used each component once in my answers.
Yeah.
But technically, we could use something twice, and we just forego playing the perfect game, but we score as many points as possible.
Gotcha.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's a way that we could approach this. Whether I'm stretching Stu's rules or not, I don't know. But that's a way we could approach this.
How does a Patreon watch a patron-only fans private stream? I'm going to leave the OnlyFans thing to Bourbon. Bourbon will have to give you the insight on that because I know he's probably all about the OnlyFans. David Bates is going to give it a go. Cheers, man. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
The number one rule about Fight Club, John, is that we don't talk about Fight Club.
Fight Club, exactly. This was actually a lot of fun. I was nervous about this because I thought it was going to be really difficult. We could be totally wrong on all these, but I feel like we have some really good answers for the blends.
I can
It's
tell you
finding the
C.
base components, and then can we figure out the accents? Right?
C is 100% Foursquare. We're not sure on the second component, but that's 99.99999%.
On C, right, Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie, 100%.
Yeah, I think I like the C in makers as well.
Like I got, so Pilar, Nashville, Old Soul, A, Journeyman Catchers, Dickel, B, Touchstone Makers, and the oddball is the last one, man, because we're at
C.
Catchers by Vermouth and K. Luke, you know what I mean? Which I do get a little bit of MGP, I think, but not enough to make me think that it was like K. Luke blended into this.
Just remember, though, was batch 5 Four Roses stuff? Or was it just 4 that was before Roses?
I think all of them are because they're the high rye, low rye, then Kentucky,
so
Indiana.
To be honest with you, if you're getting floral on D, which I do, that could be part of it. That could be also the reason why I like it the least, because I don't typically like Four Roses as much as everybody else does.
Okay, I want to go back to C.
C?
Just to make sure we lock this one in.
Okay.
I am getting more and more confident that C is a Touchstone Dickel blend.
Touchstone Dickel blend?
What makes you think Dickel?
That minerality is still there on the finish, and it's got the most age, and nothing else is carrying that 15-year age statement.
I can see that. I can see that. Where are you putting the makers then?
I don't know yet. I'm just trying to slowly narrow us in. No, but it's the things as my confidence in something gets higher. I just gotta say it. I think it's a Touchstone Dickel blend, which, by the way, Stu, if this is a Touchstone Dickel blend, you are a gutsy man because it's delicious.
If it is, then the Dickel's masked.
Rumor is K. Luke batch 4 is Four Roses, 5 is Barton.
I think that's Dickel.
Oh. See, I don't get Dickel, but I don't know. Like it's just good. All I get is I can't get the Foursquare out of my head.
Now that you three have to worry about this,
where did we have
how
Dickel
does
before?
one detect these bottles not having tried 75% of them? I would say that for me, you learn certain profiles of particular distilleries just by drinking them a lot. And then you, like Darrell was talking about, when I said, Darrell, what are you getting when you think of, Foursquare or whatever else, something that he's drank a lot of, then he'll have specific notes that he looks for and that he knows. And a lot of these, like for MGP, there's a base note to MGP. Now, granted, they have all profiles that have a lot of different mash bills, but if it's a typical MGP profile, there's some certain notes for us. I know one is graham cracker. And Jeff has probably drank more MGP than anybody else that I know. So I count on him. Darrell's drink more rum than anybody else that I know. So specifically Foursquare, it just depends. I mean, you learn memory things that you put into your bank, like to pull back from and say, okay, this whiskey made me think of this when I drank it. Now I'm putting that in my brain. The next time that I taste that, I'm going to know that it's this. The more you do it, the better you get at putting things to memory and recalling it back out is the easiest way to describe it. Cheers, OH.
Thank you, OH.
Give my entries to Slapshot Roadhouse. Brian needs a little book on his shelf. All right, we'll do it, man. Thank you to Ethan and Katie for keeping track of super chats as well. Sorry.
Oh, Jeff, if we flip that, we can add makers to.
Yeah, that's very true. Unfortunately, most of the time, unless you're talking about a Bardstown KBS finished, then the Dickel didn't show at all to me. That's one bottle that disproves that for me. Bourbon before I can. That KBS Dickel, I didn't even know it was Dickel. I just said that's KBS. I want to try it. Tried it, and then after I loved it so much, somebody told me it was all Dickel finished. So you just never know. and I don't taste the Dickel at all on that one. So
Yeah, I don't taste. If it's in C, I don't taste it at all. For me personally, I know Jeff's picking it up, but it's hidden in all of these.
Thank you, Katie. Ethan's traveling, so
yeah, I'm not sure. We can flip flop though, Jeff.
JG, I still call it MGP. I won't stop calling it MGP, no matter what they say with Ross and Squibb.
Let's see.
All right, what do we think on D? I've been so concentrated on C.
Oh, sorry.
Ding!
D would just leave us with Vermouth and K-Luke. Everything else is kind of in place for the first three.
I still think it's the Vermouth, and I still think that it's the K-Luke. I think it's too floral not to be, but I could be wrong.
So you get the floral note on that. Like I know 100% C has Foursquare. A, you're locked in, Kelsey, because you got the bottle of Pilar, so you know that. So one big component of each. B, you two are both locked in on Journeyman.
To me, D comes across that as Four Roses type of a vibe to me too on the finish.
Which we aren't confident is in K-Luke Batch 5, though, right?
No, but it comes across floral, which makes me think
comes across
floral, botanical. It's definitely, to me, the Vermouth finish.
Give me one more sip of D with French oak in mind.
You think it could be the Makers?
I'm just asking.
Definitely don't get that on the nose, but
I haven't had a lot of Makers. I own a decent amount, but literally sipped them all like once. No, I don't really care for the profile much. So I'm not one to really know.
Just on the finish. No?
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I can't rule it out. But where are we at with Makers? On the second one, we will be flipping Touchstone and K-Luke potentially. Oh no, C is two components, yeah. So Touchstone Dickel, you thought, or Touchstone K-Luke. But those are too high proof. Like, it doesn't drink like a 120 proof. If it was K-Luke and Touchstone, it's right at 120, which this doesn't drink like that. To me. I think something's bringing it down in proof. So I think it's blended with something that's under 120.
Okay, so the proof game here.
Yeah, for
you're
C.
You're talking about C? No,
yeah,
C
Charlie.
we said was but that's where I'm still leaning in on the Dickel.
So Touchstone
and Dickel.
Touchstone and Dickel. Okay.
Which would fit what you're saying on Makers. Proof
then we would have Makers at what? Bravo then? Journeyman, Catches Rye French with
that's where we got to figure out where it goes. B or D. Yep. Oh, thank you, Ellen's fam. If you haven't already, we got 56 people in here. Come on. Smash that like for us. We really appreciate it.
How accessible is that Old Soul tin type?
It comes and it goes. I've actually come across it a handful of times. I bought it that one time when I first found it. They always say batch 1, which makes me intrigued when I see it like a year apart and it always says batch 1. But now that would always be a party source though. So I guess that's not necessarily representative.
Got it. Yeah.
Oh, and then I saw it when I was in Denver as well. That would be the other time I saw it, when I was doing that vacation in Denver.
All right. So we're kind of locked in on A from what we think.
All right. Recap for me: A, Pilar, tin type.
Pilar. Oh yeah, Nashville. No. We flipped Nashville for Old Soul, right? Or did we not?
Oh, did we?
Shit, I wrote that in here.
We lost Kelsey, so now we get all the decisions.
Yeah, I'll wait for. I thought we thought Nashville for something else instead. Yeah, because I remember saying I got the MGP. Then he's like, "Oh, maybe it's the Old Soul instead."
Well, what's the base of A? I think that's what I'm still
Base
losing.
of
as
A
we
is
go
the
this thing.
Polar.
No. I think it's the Polar is an accent in A.
Oh,
What's
all right.
like the fundamental core of A? Like we called out Journeyman, we called out the Touchstone on B and
I know
C.
MGP for me.
We're saying MGP for A. Yeah, so I guess it's
so either Old Soul
the
or
tintype
Nashville.
or the Kelvin.
Yeah, Old Soul or Nashville.
Where do you go on A, Kelsey, as like the foundation of the blend for A? Which MGP?
Tintype.
That's where I am at.
It's bright. It's forward.
Okay.
Where are we moving Nashville to?
We haven't. That's what I'm trying to narrow in on. That's why I'm asking that question.
Okay. So what would be the third? So we got Polar, Old Soul, and what in A?
I said originally K. Luke, but
you're thinking you get more floral. Well, we don't know if it's for roses or not, but floral for D, which we're thinking maybe the K. Luke on that.
Give me 1 second.
It's tough.
You know what? I think that the third component might be the Makers in A. It's real. Makers is soft. It's sweet.
Dude, whatever A is, man.
It's really good.
Next time something comes this way, send me another sample.
Did you say Makers on A? Because that was always my first instinct.
Yeah.
I kept saying it finishes like a wheat for some reason.
Yeah. It's sweet. It's soft. It's got a little bit more of at the end of it, a little punch that I would associate with like a French oak barrel. I think you might be right there. Yeah.
I'm in on that.
All right. So Makers out of C, Touchstone, Dicko, B. So Polar, Old Soul, Makers, right?
Yeah.
Journeyman, we think Catches Rye, French. For C, Catches Rye, French. We had Dicko there before. So what are we missing? We're missing
in B.
In B, yeah.
So the Kelvin is what we don't have placed anywhere. Is it in B or is it in D?
I would probably think D before B.
I think I would think B before D.
Really? Fuck.
I agree with Jeff. I think it's in B. I do. It's dark. It's viscous. It more aligns to me what my experience with Kelvin barrels have been. So, all right, guys, we're going to shut off super chats in the next 2 minutes. So you got 2 minutes.
I can probably get with that.
2 more minutes on super chat, everybody.
We're
if you just joined and you want to see the reflection and not the bottle.
There you go.
Look. 2023.
So B Catches Rye.
In retrospect.
This is plural, sure, but the recent
I can go 50-50 with B and D with the Nashville. I can see it in both, to be honest.
So D would become K. Luke.
In the vermouth.
And the vermouth. That makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
I get MGP on D, so it could be the K. Luke.
I have an interesting question for Nancy because I've always wondered this and I've never been around somebody that has been as knowledgeable. Is the peanut flavor that's in Heaven Hill and Beam coming from the yeast strain? Because I know you were talking about yeast strains. Did those particular notes come from the yeast strains that they're using, or is that something else that produces that type of a profile for them, for Beam and for Heaven Hill? Because they're different. I know that they're different nut type of flavors as far as that goes, but obviously that's the only thing that I could consider that it would be. But That would be a question I had for Nancy.
Nice.
I always learn so much when she's in here talking to everybody too. Thank you for being in here, Nancy. Everybody learns from you all the time. So
Definitely.
All right. So
Right.
I think we got this down. We
Yeah,
ready
I'm
to?
writing them in now.
Yep,
We ready to reveal?
absolutely. Let's do it.
Journeyman. So we did
So-
Journeyman in Nashville for B. No, Journeyman catches Rye in Nashville, right?
And the Nash Kelvin. Yep.
Catchers French. Nashville.
It's very true. I know.
C touchstone Dickel. Just sounds weird.
All right. So
All
let's
right,
see.
let's
See if I
do
can
it.
get this to.
Wait, is that
I'm having
the?
problems
Oh,
with
that's
the
your.
Zoom today. There we go.
Uh,
So Kelsey, why don't you read the answers here as I show people
Oh
our
God,
answers?
I should hold up mine. Can't even read that.
Give me 1 second.
All right.
No,
Let's
I'm just
see.
messing around.
Let's see the better handwriting.
No, mine's messy actually. Because
It better be
Jeff-
impressive.
Hey, actually, that's actually pretty legible for Jeff if you had known. Nancy, I asked you in Beam and Heaven Hill products, they have a peanut flavor that comes across in their products. Is that coming off of the yeast strain that they use? That's what I was asking you, Nancy. Does it come off the nut flavor from Heaven Hill and Jim Beam? Does it come off the yeast strain?
my light's not all the way back
How
there.
am
Mine,
I
you can
going
use
to
yours.
read? How am I going to read that?
I don't write
Come on.
huge.
All right, let's
Well,
reveal it.
See, that's why my second grade handwriting comes in handy because I write huge. All right, Kelsey,
All right.
I'll put
Yep.
this up again.
Can I reveal? Can I look? Actually, no, I won't look at the same time.
All right.
So blend A components are Peeler, tin type, and makers 46.
That's what we wrote, or is that what's in it?
That's
Wait.
what Jeff wrote.
That's what he wrote.
Wait.
Yeah.
No, wait, no. Okay. What's the
That's me
answer?
to read the answers, not my answers. The answers.
Open up
Oh.
the envelope.
Oh, these the answers?
No, geez, Louise. Open up Stu's
Oh,
envelope.
okay. I
I'm
got you.
I'm showing what we did, and I want you to open. up
Okay,
Stu's
I'm following you now. Hold on. All right, blend A. The answer is Nashville 8-year MGP.
Oh,
I thought the Nash.
All right.
it was
Tin
not really
type,
Nash.
which we were right, and Pilar.
Wait, Nashville
we-
Pilar and what?
And Old So Tin type and Pilar and Nashville 8-year. So we got two of the three components
Both
right.
MVPs. Both MVPs were in there.
Yep. Blend
I
2.
wondered if he doubled down on the MGPs.
Blend 2
I had that thought.
is Journeyman Courses Whipson whiskey, the wheat
Yep.
whiskey.
So not the
The
Nashville.
Catcher's Rye finished in French Baroque, so we were good on there. And then we put the Kelvin, but it was actually the Dickel 15-year.
Ooh, here's
So
the
we got two of the three right on that.
What should be touchstone makers for C?
C is Touchstone and K. Luke.
Okay,
And we said it was Touchstone and Dickel. So we got one of the two right there. And then D is the Vermouth and Makers 46. So
makers.
remember I said D was Makers too. I was closer on that one. Oh, well. We got
Well,
one
we
right
got-
there.
We got the
K-Luke.
Vermouth, we got the Touchstone, so that's two of them.
Yeah.
We got the Catcher and the Journeyman, so we got four. And we got the Makers. No,
No, we got the tin
we
type
got
and
the
the
Tin Type
Pilar.
and the Pilar.
Yeah.
So we got six of the 10 right.
Yep.
We got the base pretty much
swapped.
of each of them, right? Which
We
was
were at
nice.
a 60%.
So we knew
the
Pilar
most part.
well. So we picked out Pilar, Journeyman, Touchstone, and the Vermouth right off the rip.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, as what we say is the base, but may not be the base, but
Yeah.
like distinguish a note. Which is good. I think.
hey, we got a
6 out of 10.
majority.
Yeah.
Stu, how would you rate our performance here as you're telling everybody what the blends are?
K. Luke and Foursquare. I don't have 5 to blend, but I may do a blend.
I think
of
6 out of 10 is pretty good,
4.
though.
That's not bad.
Pilar
And we
Old
didn't double
Soul.
up on anything like I kind of recommended. Like we could have hedged bets and like doubled up on some things, but
Right.
we were distinct on each one. We committed.
Oh, Katie, did you send it to Jeff's email? I think so. The wheels in your email.
All right. Thank you, Katie. I'll get to the little book here just a second, everybody.
What was
and then
you
know, the ... dots mean so much when you put that on there, you know, like I feel like you're telling us we did good, but then you put the ... dots on there, and then, you know, I detect some sarcasm.
I will say C was my favorite, Stu. C and then A, and then B, and then D. Those are my order.
Catchers.
Ooh.
Cool. Yeah,
All
A
right,
for me.
Kelsey, he's going with your instincts tonight. I'm the one that steered us off track.
Well, you know, a blind squirrel can get a nut every once in a while, Stu. That's all I'll say. These guys have way better palates than I do. So.
Oh, there's your answer to the peanut question.
And not okay. The peanut note might be more of an issue with the stressed yeast. Don't know for sure. However, the banana note in Jack D is also isomal acetate, which is definitely from stressed yeast. Okay, well that's good to know. Awesome. That's kind of what I thought it had to be, Nancy, but I don't know. I just always wondered that how in the world that particular profile always has like a peanut note to it, but I wasn't sure.
We're getting a lot of ... dots around here.
It's like that commercial, yada yada. A lot of yada yada going on.
All right. Let's pull up this wheel here. Now, Lance, I did see you come through there. I'll add you in there as I open this thing up. But this will be it. We'll close this thing down. Let's get this little book a new owner. Oh, Lance is in there. All right, we're good. Thank you very much, Katie. All right.
And with the JD, cool. In addition to the isoamyl acetate, which is the stressed yeast, you also have a lot of fusel oils too. Does that come from the Lincoln County process? Nancy, I'm curious on that. What you said there. All right. Did you put Lance in?
Got people in there. Lance is in there at that bottom.
All right. Good deal.
Katie already took care of it.
Oh, look at her.
So I'm gonna hit random. All right, Kelsey, how many times do I hit random?
4.
It's already random.
Once, twice, 3, 4 times, and then I spin.
2, 3 times.
Round and round we go.
Slap shot.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
All right. Brian needs a little book on his shelf. How about that, man? Cheers. Thanks, everybody, for participating tonight.
That's
man.
If you guys want to stick around and join Patreon, I'm sure that we can throw the Patreon link in there somewhere if you want to join the Patreon. And then join us later on after this.
Oh, yeah. We'll do the encore here shortly. So what was your ranking? Just to make sure I write it down here, guys.
My ranking was C, A, B, and then D.
A, C, B, D for me.
Darrell, A, C.
Yeah, all the MGP is right in my alley. So A, like I
was really good too. Like it was really close for me.
I'm the same as you, Darrell. A, C, B, D.
Yeah, A is fantastic. Like this
that
probably
nose
would have
on
won.
A though, holy crap! That nose on A is just killer.
Dude, if this was sent for the Frankenblend stew, oh my god,
man.
I know I would have chosen it as the winner.
How devilish!
I haven't had any of the other stuff to really know, but this is fantastic, man. This is really, really good.
Guess my double MGP blend.
Yeah,
that's so devilish.
Like I knew MGP immediately. I got the berry note that I get on in Nashville. Then we flipped it because we were like, oh, maybe that's in something, and we'll go to 10. But you guys picked up the Pilar. I never had that to know. But I knew MGP on this for sure. That 4 square, there's no hiding that damn thing. As soon as you mentioned, I was like, yep. Normally, I would pick it up quicker too.
Interesting. Okay.
I think the process has to do with the chocolate.
Oh man.
But sometimes I wish I could just crawl inside of her brain and download information
Oh, what am I? Oh,
and just like input it in here and automatically know it. There's so much up there. Like she'll forget more than I'll ever know about whiskey. It's just crazy. That's so cool. Thank you for sharing all of your knowledge, Nancy, with everybody tonight.
And thank you to Stu for putting together these blinds.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Oh my God.
Blind of blends. There we go. I think I got it that time. Thank you for getting together these blind of blends.
I'll tell you this, none of them are bad. Like we had D as like our least favorite, but I honestly don't think it was bad. Like I would drink it. Like I do enjoy drinking it. It's just when it's up against the other three, you know what I mean? It's just not as good as those, but it's not bad at all. You know, to be blunt. And what was that? That was Catcher's Rye, Vermouth, and Makers.
Ah,
yeah.
There we go. Blind of all blends. See, that word "all" is what I'm looking for, Stu. See, you're completing my blend, Stu. Thank you.
No, I like this game. This is cool.
That was a lot of fun, Stu. Thank you so much.
It's tough.
Fun learning that because we can learn from each other. That's what I love about it too.
And I will say, I mean, going back, gosh, a couple of years ago, and even the beginning of our relationships, I was sending these out, like these type of games out to DJ Beacon or to Josh, and all types of people. So I do encourage everybody to like send these games to each other as well. Like that's where some relationships start. So I really appreciate Stu doing this. You know, it's kind of full circle when he like starts putting together these games. I get all nerdy about it.
If Stu would send Jeff an email with the blend ratios, we can put that up for everybody too.
Yeah, that would be awesome. The ratios.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to recreate these blends too, if you have the ratios written down, if you can email Jeff, we'll get this out. Maybe we put that in the comments section or the link description as well afterwards.
So, preferably to like the nanometer, Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Nashville, is that the Founders one? Which 8-year is that, Kelsey?
No, it's not the Makers. It's the fuck.
We're all even. Oh shit, really?
You know, Stu, even if that isn't the right answer, I appreciate you just throwing that out there. Like, yeah, it's just all thirds and halves.
Wow. Yeah,
dude, I love that even more.
Yeah, I don't have the Old Soul. What can I substitute that for? I want to try to make something like that. Is the Polar,
I've got some of the Old Soul that I can send you.
Does the Polar sit on a shelf?
Oh yeah, you can go get that.
It does.
Easy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like $40. It's cheap.
Because I don't have the Nashville, but I can use my Copper and Cast. That's 8-year MGP. Old, so like I have like 7. I want like the exact thing, but I can't do that. But I want, this is freaking, oh God, I barely have anything left. I don't want to finish it because it's so good, but this is freaking delicious.
I did good. I got like even proportions of everything left
dude,
here.
I kept going back. A and C for me, you could tell where my favorites is, like barely anything in these in the glass.
Oh.
Finish my last little bit of this.
Well, let's wrap this thing up, guys. We're at 9:20. Everybody, there's no Jason to send you off to, so we'll send you into the void of YouTube after this. Maybe somebody will jump on and take up that void. But thank you so much for joining us tonight, and thank you to Stu for putting this all together. Guys, why don't we sign off, and then I'll have times to kiss the kiddos goodnight.
All right, sounds good.
Kelsey, start with you.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks to Stu, first of all, for the blends, and Nancy for dropping the knowledge to all of us tonight. Love to sit around and talk more and pick your brain. It's always fun when you're here. Really appreciate that. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Kelsey Dime, and I will send it to the Whiskey Saint down below the rail.
Yeah, cheers, everybody. Big shout out, Stu, man. Crazy blends, man. Like Really, really good. And I love blends, so this is like right up my alley, and you killed it, dude. A was just absolutely ridiculous, and I need a full bottle ASAP. But no, just continue to follow us, guys. Here, thanks for everybody tuning in. Find me on IG at the Whiskey Saint, and yeah, just continue to follow us through here, man. Pass it over to you, Mr. Whack.
All
Don't
right.
forget to tell them about next week too, Whack, please.
Ooh.
So, got 57 people in here. Give you a little preview about next week since Kelsey was so nice to remind me because I would totally forgotten and just signed off. But next week, we do have the finals for the craft rye flight that we've been doing that is curated by executive producer Todd. He just sent us those today. So we have 4 new samples. He randomized the order. We don't know what is in the finals of this tournament, but we are going to have a good time getting into it. In addition, next Wednesday, of course, is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So we will be kicking off with some turkey. So if and when you join us, have some turkey prepared as well. All right.
Some turkey.
So we will see you on the next Whiskey Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining tonight.
Cheers, everybody.
Have a good night. Excuse me.
Jeff, just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello